Thought I'd find you up here. Nah, the view's nice. I can't begrudge you that. Just tell me what's going on. You did good in that last battle. Really held your own. Well, making mistakes is all part of growth, ain't it? Yeah. Took me a while to get used to this, too. Yeah. Getting powers ain't exactly always a blessing, you know. When I first got back from that trip, I thought I'd break every mirror I looked into. I appreciate you telling me that. And sure, this is, an iconic look and everything. I just looked at myself and saw a thing. Something made out of all these rocks. A monster with big, ugly features and fingers. Yeah, that's where the name comes from. I'm the Thing. The thing people scream at in terror. The thing that people shoot at. The thing that makes you run away. I mean, sure. When I'm fighting bad guys, it's a good thing. I'm the thing they're scared of, you know? But, when I'm with friends, or trying to be with friends, it ain't exactly great. Almost worse is the looks of pity I get. Most of the time, I get 'em from Reed. Yeah, it's kinda his fault this happened. I don't want to say fault, actually. Yeah, I volunteered for the mission. We was good friends back then, and we still are now. He's tried to cure me, sure. But after a while, after all the times we had to save the world, if not the whole dang universe, I just said leave it. I'm more useful to everyone this way. Yeah. Really puts the hurt on people when it's clobbering time, you know? Well, sometimes people get similar powers. Sometimes they get different ones. Is this all that's bothering you? Or is it everything else? Well, you don't really seem to get out of costume much. You don't really spend a lot of time with friends and family. I know the whole current situation is, well, it's a little tricky, but still, you should make time for people close to you. Nah, trust me. We got the best and brightest people working on a way to solve the time stream entanglement. You should take care of you. See, that's what you don't want to do, kid. This superhero stuff, it's not an escape from your worldly problems. It's an obligation. And I know you might not want to hear that, but at the same time, you need to understand, your other life doesn't end just 'cause you're also living this one. It's a little different for me and the other members of the Fantastic Four. We got no secret identities. We're always the Fantastic Four, which means, well, yeah, we do got some home life stuff, but the second it's needed, we're suiting up and going out there fighting Doom or Galactus or Namor or whoever needs a good clobbering. But folks like you and Spidey and Daredevil, you got other lives to live, you know? You also gotta be you. And don't let this take away from that. Oh, yeah? Well, talk to old Uncle Benji, 'cause he ain't going anywhere. Come on. I got ears, even though you might not be able to see them. All that and more, huh? Yeesh. No, I'm not sorry I asked. I'm just sorry for all your predicaments. No, I had my fair share of troubles myself, too, you know. Before and after this happened. I won't bore you with them, but, suffice it to say, I think I'm, kinda closer to you than you might think. Well, you know I was a pilot before I got this good looking, right? A part of me thinks that, looking back at it now, I became a pilot to get away from all the problems on the real world. Didn't really work so well. The world said, nah, you're never going up there again. Well, 'cause I can't fit this much rocky cake in a pilot seat, kiddo. I tried to get away from the Earth, and the Earth said, you know what? I'm gonna make you a part of me. I don't know what kind of stone this actually is. It's more of an organic... What the heck did Reed call it? No, it wasn't a silicate compound. Carbon silica? I don't know. I don't got the memory for all that kind of stuff. I was a flyboy. More of a flyboy than Johnny was, anyways. I got him into the same pilot program I was part of as a favor to Susie. He had no idea what he was doing with his life, and he was a hotshot even back then. So, as a favor to my best friend Reed and his best gal, I let their lunkhead of a brother into the program. And he crashed a gosh dang flight simulator. He crashed it. No, I'm not talking about the virtual plane that's part of the computer. He crashed the actual, physical, simulated plane. Well, they get a fake cockpit in there, right? Kind of a whole 360 array. Yeah, gives you the whole real feel of being in a jet. And I don't know how, and I didn't ask, but that thing came off its hinges and just barrel rolled right into a wall. Oy vey. Suffice it to say he was kicked out, and my credibility was called into question because I vouched for the kid. Yeah. Lessons learned at the end of the day. But we were talking about you here. You can't just escape from your problems forever, is what I'm trying to tell you. I get it, though. Being a superhero, it's a lot easier to solve your problems when you can just punch them in the face and lock them up behind bars and make them disappear. But reality don't work like that, kid. It's different. Well, you might not know this, but each member of the Fantastic Four has a special hidden strength. You know, besides our superpowers. Now, Reed, his is probably the most obvious, 'cause Well, he never shuts up. Yeah, he's smart. I love the guy, but sometimes he's a right and proper egghead. Now, Susie? She's patient. She's loving. And sometimes she's a bit too patient with people who don't deserve it, huh? Yeah. Well, I mean, not just Johnny, but Namor and Doom and all other kinds of punks out there. Real nasty sorts. Johnny? I got beef with the kid. I usually do. But I can't deny, he's brave. Downright fearless. Now sometimes that equates to his stupidity. But when the chips are down, the Human Torch is as fearless as they come. He'll do whatever it takes and burn as hot and bright as he can. Now me? Well, I like to think that under all this stone is a heart of gold. I like to think that I'm a kind man, that I make the time for people who need it. Growing up near Yancy Street, I had to be tough. The Yancy Street gang was a bunch of crooks and troublemakers. My father always told me that my hands had to be strong enough to throw a punch, but gentle enough to hold someone who needed it. And you know what? It's taken a lot of practice, but I think they're gentle enough once more. Well, it was always easy for me to throw a punch. That's why he gave me the advice in the first place. Oh, yeah, it was clobbering time even before I was a rock man. Oh, they're a bunch of lowlifes. Nah, they're not as bad as someone like, Kingpin's group. They're just thugs, punks. They deal in all sorts of things and torment me every time I come back around. The people of Yancy Street come by every now and again and ask for me to come in and clean them up. And that's where the infamous Yancy Street charge comes in. You've seen me do it. Oh yeah, that big old shoulder rush. Now when those punks see that coming, they know to skedaddle. It's all about balance, you see. A fist for the gang, and a nice, firm hug or a handshake for the people of Yancy Street who need me. Now, each of these can be used to solve your problems. You gotta just find what you're strongest with. Are you kind? Are you brave? Are you smart? Are you patient? Which one? All right. Now how can you apply that to your problem? Well, being patient only gets you so far. Now, far be it from me to take a page from Johnny's book, so maybe this is more mine. Sometimes you gotta Yancy Street charge right into your problems. You gotta rush them down and see that they're dealt with. Waiting for them to go away doesn't always mean they're gonna go away. And sometimes that doesn't work either. Sometimes being rough on them or being patient with them doesn't solve nothing. Sometimes you gotta be smart about it. Sometimes you gotta think around your problems. Figure out why the heck, everything you've tried hasn't solved it yet. And sometimes they're too big to solve in a single day. So you gotta plan things out. Yeah, that sounds like you, huh? Fair. Well, there is another hidden strength of the Fantastic Four, and it's one that not a lot of people think about. But it's that we're a team. I know it's kind of obvious when you think about us. The Fantastic Four is a team of superheroes, you know? But at the same time, I mean, people don't really think about the teamwork part of being in a team. Usually when there's an alien invasion or a big old brawl, we're each doing our own thing. But see, it's all really one big team effort. We're each tackling part of the problem that's best suited to our own individual strengths. Yeah. See, sometimes being smart on your own, or patient, or brave, or kind on your own isn't enough to get things done. Sometimes burning like a star or being tough as a big old boulder don't solve things. Sometimes you gotta ask your friends or your family for help. And I know that's rich coming from me. I got a great family to ask for help. And sometimes they can't always do it right away, but you gotta let them know that you need help in the first place. Try talking to them, saying, hey, I kinda need help this particular time, this particular day, doing this particular thing. And don't just leave it up to chance, neither. Don't just be like, hey, can you help me out sometime? Nah. You gotta be specific and direct. Otherwise, folks are just gonna be like, oh, well, you know, I just had all these other things going on. Well, that's when you gotta say, well, what about Saturday? I'm free all day Saturday. Could you come by at around 2-ish? Maybe 10? Don't ask people to come over for lunchtime unless you're gonna feed them, all right? Little tip growing up in New York. Yeah, sure, I mean, it applies everywhere, but still. Very serious in New York. Do not ask someone to come over for a mealtime and help you out if you ain't gonna repay them with some food. Yeah, that might incentivize them. Getting a couple freezer pizzas, maybe some beers or sodas. Yeah. You'd be surprised the kind of incentivization that gives people. Oh, no, I was just thinking, that's, actually how I, went on my first date after I became the Thing. This great gal, Alicia. I saw her standing on the sidelines of one of our heroic debuts. We'd spoken before, of course, and I kinda had a thing for her. No pun intended. So I said, hey, Alicia, you know, I'd like to get to know you better. Would you like to go out to coffee with me, or maybe dinner? Yeah, I'm free this Saturday. And she said, oh, Saturday don't work for me. And I said, shucks, well, what about Friday or Thursday? And she said, those days don't work for me either. And I was like, well, I'm a bit busy Tuesday and Wednesday. And then she says, I'm free tonight, so why don't you take me on a date? And I swear, if I could blush, I would have turned into a big old ruby right there. Ah, she's the sweetest. She's the kindest person I know. You know, present company and Fantastic Four excluded, of course. But she makes me happy. Happier than I've been in a long while. Well, take this as a lesson, kiddo. If there's someone out there for someone who looks like me, there's someone out there for you too. Nah, you got a good-looking mug, kid, especially compared to me. And you got a good heart on top of it. You just gotta mature a little, you know? I'd say Johnny should mature too, but one miracle at a time. We already gotta fix this whole mess with 2 different Dr. Dooms and Dracula. Oh, Alicia's in a shelter. She's safe. Don't worry about her. I appreciate the concern, though. Nah, she sent me a text. I don't think I'd be able to focus in this eternal night if I knew she was in danger. Yeah, don't worry, though. We got the Avengers and the Fantastic Four and the X-Men on this thing. We're gonna stop Dracula, and then we're gonna stop Doom. And we're gonna fix all this whole galactic gobbledygook. Don't you worry. But, for the meantime, just think about what I said to you, all right? How you gonna solve your real-world problems once you take your suit off? 'Cause those problems don't go away. All right. That's what I'd like to hear, kiddo. You gotta be all right. And remember, if you need help, all you gotta do is ask. Or if you want, you can tackle it by yourself first. But don't make the mistake of thinking that you're an island. All right? I know I look like a dang island, but I sure ain't one. Don't act like you gotta carry everything on your shoulders alone. You got people around you who can help. And if they can't help right away, well, that just gives you more time to, come up with a smart plan of exactly what you all should do when you are available. Yeah. You're gonna get through this, kid. We all are. Trust Uncle Benji, huh? He knows what he's talking about.